welcome to another live sales coaching session. Today we have Kristof from Huapii. Kristof, welcome to the micro coaching here. So you explain very quickly what you do and then ask your question.
I'm Michael. I'm Kristof. I'm one of the co-founders of Huapii. We are an HR platform to unleash people within organizations. And my question for you today is about reaching out.
Can I immediately interrupt you?
Yes.
Unleash people with organization. Unleash what?
Unleash the internal skills within the organization and making sure basically that people are able to grow within the organization by making the skills visible, by having objectives focused on growth, and by providing feedback to each other.
So it's clearly that your unleash needs a bit of more. You need to add a few words so it becomes very, very clear what you do. Now, I'm really sorry, but that's how it goes today. So tell me, somebody's got to pay for the weekend, right? It's going to be you. No, seriously. So ask me your question.
So what I often notice is when I reach out to leads that they tell me, okay, it seems interesting. I love the concept, but the timing is not right. And we will do an RFP within 6 months, or I'm currently very busy, or now certainly it's the summer holiday. Can you reach out after the summer? And I'm wondering, is it best to just wait until after the summer because it doesn't feel right? Or are there ways to approach these leads in a way that you being kept top of mind for them?
Yeah, so that's one of the big issues with sales. We don't like to wait, we like to close. But in life there are three. You're either too early, you're on time, which you're not, or you're too late, which you're not in this case. So that's good. That's one. And two, they already tell you very friendly, wait, which most of our prospects don't do. They'll go like, yeah, send me a quote or that. They'll keep you busy. So the fact that they ask is good because it means you touch the nerve. Now the big question, the thing, rather you gotta be careful with is they ask you to back off. So go easy, but you gotta stay in touch. So what I would do is a technique called be-guilting, which basically means I'll leave them alone for 5-6 weeks and I put somewhere in my agenda, send them something. And send them something would mean like a little email or a WhatsApp or not a call. I don't want to waste their time on a call. I want to keep it like low touch. And I'll send them something like, hey, I've been thinking about you, or I've come across this might be interesting for you. So it cannot be sales. Fundamentally, it cannot be sales. And it needs to have some piece of value. Now, value is very large. Value could mean I have met somebody that you know too, or we were just chatting about you. That's typically what I do on LinkedIn, or this guy or girl mentioned you, or here is a screenshot from something I saw, I think that can help you. If you don't have anything of that, I tend to make my own material. I'll make something specifically for several of these people because, at the end, you're selling the same solution, so you know what the value is. And I'll probably make like a 2-3 page, or I'll do a webinar, I'll do something to create what they call a compelling event. Something needs to happen so that they start moving. So I'll do it the first time after 6 weeks, and then I'll probably do it again after 7-8 weeks. I kind of balance that. And I've learned most of the time they come eventually, but you gotta pace yourself. And if you put too much pressure on them, they'll hate you forever. So that is if they do not have an RFP. If you know there's gonna be an RFP, I would still kind of reach out from time to time, and I would kind of suggest to send them stuff that they could use to shortcut the RFP process. I would say, hey, we've just received an RFP from X or Y, or hey, we've just sent this to that company. This might help you make your RFP. So again, fundamentally value-based, long-term based, so not short-term. Last but not least, about, let's say 2 months before the RFP, I would literally pick up the phone and I would say, hey, what's the status of the RFP? I would just ask. I think too many, if you think about closing and all of that, we should sometimes just need to ask the question, what are you thinking? Can I help you? And all of that. I just wanted to double check. And that I would do physically, like phoning, so they have to answer, or I would dare to show up. In the old days, you could do receptions and events and all of that. If you don't have that, showing up is going to be weird because if, hey, We have this guy at the reception. There's a hardcore. I wouldn't do that, but I would try and phone. I would try and get through. If that really doesn't work, you just ping them and said, "Hey, I've been trying to reach you." What could also work, and this is a bit more creative, and you know what they say, the creative will make the difference in reaching somebody. You could send them a personalized video and say, "I was thinking about you, and there are 2 things that I want to up and you're off," and you basically explain it, and by you sending that, and I would probably not do it on email, I'll probably would do it via LinkedIn or some type of channel where there is not too much messaging. I think that could work really well, because I haven't seen that a lot yet. And in your case, especially it's HR, it's human, it's people, I would probably do that.
Okay, no,
Is that something you've been doing or trying, or because RFPs is something very special because there are many stakeholders and they need to go. So the trick is, on another level, I would never answer an RFP that I have not influenced. In my life, I got too many RFPs and I got entire sales teams busy answering RFPs. And then I ask, where do they come from? Oh, we got an email. Yeah, but then you are what they say, column fodder, right? You're just there for a price. I don't do that. And by the way, sometimes just phoning them up and saying, "I'm not going to answer your RFP," works really well, because they'll go, "Oh, why not?" Well, tell me more. You're just sending this. How do you see? You gotta be very careful with RFPs.
Yeah, it's we've been working with the material that we had from other customers, where we really feel that, okay, this is where we deliver the value. We have been reworking that material a bit and sharing it, and we see there we get a lot of positive reactions on it. So that's already something that we do, and that we also share proactively with them if we feel that it's a need based on their LinkedIn activity, for example. Proactively influencing RFPs, that's not something we have done already.
Yeah. So that's something especially when you grow to a certain scale, it is what it is, because the amounts will grow. You'll have RFPs. One of the interesting types of content you could make is talking about the future or the things that need to come, and what does that mean for your system. And you kind of do it generically, but you're basically injecting all your features from a problem. You turn it around, and that makes it very interesting, because then if they write an RFP, they'll put in stuff like, "Oh, and it also needs to be able to do that and that and that and that," and then you actually come into the picture. And you could do that in like mini guides, very small booklets. You could do like the typical infographic. It kind of works, but it's sometimes too light. If it's too playful, it doesn't work. Or maybe even 2-3 slides. Don't overdo it. But just keep feeding, but don't push.
Yeah, okay, well, that's some great tips and some things that I can already start thinking about and putting into practice. So thanks a lot.
Thanks, Kristof. I promise to keep this light and short, so I'm going to press the button. If you have another question, you know where to find me.
All right. Thanks a lot, Michael.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao.